Nice East. A nice East this year.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk. Jeff here. Brad, what's going on, my man?
Not a whole lot, man. Sports are just in full swing. All the sports, baseball, hockey, soccer. I mean, everything just really going. And the NBA is shaping up to be a good one here early on in the year.
Yeah, I thought, last week we decided, I wouldn't say it was super last minute, but it was last minute, that we were going to do an NBA prediction pod based off of over-unders given to us by, was it DraftKings?
Yes.
And that's the same one we're going to use this week. I got some positive feedback from some of the people that listened. They thought it was pretty good. I'm excited to do this today. We have a couple of mailbag questions we'll talk about as we go. But might as well go ahead and get into it,
Yeah, and looking at it again now today, seeing some minor changes. When we did do our pod, they are live over unders that are fluctuating. It's not like what the preseason was. They all are moving.
Yeah, at the time when we did the West, I think there was 10 days into the NBA season, so each team played at least 3 games, if not 3 to 5. Now it's been 2.5 weeks. So we have
6 to 8.
6 to 8 games. We have a deeper understanding of what the East teams are, kind of. But
10% of the NBA season has happened for these teams.
yeah, let's have some fun here. Go ahead and give us the first one.
Yes, so we're gonna go obviously in reverse standings, 15-1, just like we did last time. Keep in mind on these reverse standings, as we mentioned, it's been early in the year. 10 of the 15 teams have either 3 or 4 wins. So these standings are going to be changing throughout. But we are going to start with the Orlando Magic. You had fun with this last time. Would you like to take a stab at their over-unders? They're all half points, so you can just give me whatever number, and I'll assume you're taking that half.
Yeah. I will say this. I've watched one Magic game, and it was opening night against Detroit, and they lost that game. They have won a game since, but they have been one of the worst teams in the league. Man, this team is going to struggle to get to 20, but I think you told me the lowest number was 22, if I'm not mistaken, 22 and a half.
It was last time. It could have changed. Who knows?
Okay. I'm going to go with the 22 and a half. It's the lowest.
23 and a half.
Okay. So not far off. This team's not going to win a lot of games. They're so young. Yeah, they do have some talent, but no leadership, no winning abilities whatsoever right now. Just a fun watch because they do got some young players.
Yeah, the only team projected, their win total is lower is the Houston Rockets, who we touched on last week. This team's got some injuries going on at the point guard. Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz a little banged up. But they do have a very big roster. Jalen Suggs is good size, but with the Wagner brothers, Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., this team's going to get some boards, get some second chance points. But just like you said, they have no real veteran leadership. They're a young team that doesn't really know a lot. They're trying to figure out, where they're going to go. Bol is playing some interesting minutes. But what they do have is Paolo Banchero. He's been playing really well. But if he's playing this good here to start and they're still 1-7, I'm gonna take the under. That's crazy to think that if a team goes, 20-62, they're gonna have more top picks. They're gonna be able to add to this young core. I believe they do have a philosophy, though. They do seem to be a team that works well together. They're just too young, too inexperienced. I'm taking the under. I think this team finishes around 18-19. And this could be the Wanyama, Paulo Banchero. They already talk about how big this team is. I think they'd be happy with the 2 as well, getting Scoot as a Banchero and Scoot. That's a great dynamic, at least on paper. So I'm going to go under 19.
I'm also taking the under. 18 was kind of where I was at. Let me settle in with 18.
Okay, that's your Orlando Magic. Team number 2, the Detroit Pistons, last championship in 2004. Here they are in 2022, 18 years later. Number 14, 2-6 record. 1 win is against that Magic. I'll let you take this one away, Jeff.
Yeah, they did just beat the Warriors the other night. And then the very next night after beating the Warriors at home, they go on the road and lose to the defending champion Milwaukee. I'm sorry, not defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. The last two defending champions. So they beat the Warriors, then they go on the road to the Milwaukee Bucks and they lose by 2. This team seems to have some fight. They don't play a lot of defense. They want to be a 3-point shooting team, and when it's going, they're pretty good and hard to beat. They have so much young talent, in my opinion, better young talent than the Magic do even. Lot of things to say about Detroit. Ultimately, they're not going to win a lot of games. I thought they would probably flirt with a play-in spot. It doesn't look like it. It just, there's not enough there. I'm going to guess their win total 27, 28. Give me 28.
28.5.
Let's go. Not let's go. I want them to have more. But
Right.
28 felt right. And to be honest, that's probably where they're going to land. And that it almost feels like the high point right now. Yeah, I'm going to take the over, just like you couldn't take the under on the Mavs. I can't take the under on the Pistons. Give me the over at 29.
I'm not going to add too much more to what you said, but this team already at the start is 2-2 at home, 0-4 on the road. So a young team that struggles in hostile environments. The East looks really, really competitive. I think at home, the Detroit Pistons will fight, get some wins. They're obviously not going to go winless on the road, but I like this team on the under. I think they hover around 24, 25 wins. But I just think this Detroit Pistons team, I think there's a lot to work with when you look at their starting 5. But they need about a 6th, 7th, or 8th player. They need a couple rotational guys who can give them really good minutes. But when you talk about Cunningham, Ivy, Sadiq Bey, Bojan, and Isaiah Stewart, that's a really solid starting 5. But
they're 2 guys that come off the bench. Duran, who they drafted in the top 15, and Isaiah Livers, who they drafted last year. They're young guys. They expect them to kind of be bigger roles, and right now they just can't be.
I'm going to lock in 24 as my prediction here.
Okay.
The next 2, I didn't think we'd get to these 2 teams earlier, or maybe I did, but we have the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets currently at the 13 spot. Again, like I said, the numbers are all close. These teams will go, but.
So I want to give a prediction, and then we're going to get into the mailbag. Because there's a mailbag question specifically on this team, and I feel like it's best to talk now.
Sure.
My running prediction on them. The thing is I have a prediction, but I also know that they're not playing good. So like that needs to factor into my running prediction now. 42 sounds right.
45.5. They still love them.
A few over. Okay. It does feel like this team should win more than they lose. But what is their current record?
The current record is 2-6.
So they're losing a lot more than they're winning.
And in their 8 games, 6 of them have been at home. They're 2-4. They're 0-2 on the road.
Yeah. So here comes the question from Eric Anderson Jr. He says, does Ime Udoka turn around the Nets, or is it another ticking bomb like Steve Nash? Correct me if I'm wrong. You'd probably be better at this than I am. He won't be the head coach till next season, correct?
Yeah, see, I actually need to do more research on that because I'm not 100% sure. I don't think the league suspended him. The Celtics themselves suspended him.
This is correct.
If he leaves the Celtics, he can coach. It's not like the league said you're done for a year. The Celtics owner suspended him, and now they're just going to get rid of him and move on. I believe he can coach day one that he shows up to the Nets.
That would make sense then. Then yes, that would be the case.
That's how I believe it to be.
And just so we're clear, I think when you hear suspension, you assume somebody did something. What's the word I'm looking for? You assume somebody broke rules. You assume somebody did something wrong. In this specific case, it doesn't, from what I've gathered, and if there's more, feel free to chime in. It seems like he just had a relationship with another Boston Celtic upper's wife. And that was not obviously appropriate to that person, and they decided to.
He didn't violate league policy.
No.
He just He put a
He didn't hit a
massive
woman.
grenade in the middle of the Celtics organization.
Yeah, So,
how do you say his name again? What's his name?
I believe it's Ime Udoka. Ima Udoka. I believe I have the Udoka correct.
All right, we're just gonna say Udoka.
Yeah.
Steve Nash was in over his head. He just jumped kind of right into it. I believe Chuck and I kind of hashed this out. We kind of had the same opinion. I came out and said Steve Nash deserves or I hope he gets a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he deserves one. It's just he had no chance to succeed in this situation. I believe that Ime Udoka, what he did to the Celtics was fantastic. He took a team that has stars and he preached defense and he forced it, and he doesn't really take anything from players. I don't think that'll be a problem with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has never really had issues with his coaches. He came out, he's like, yeah, I was kind of shocked that Steve Nash got fired. We were all kind of under the microscope because our team isn't winning. Come on, don't lie to me like that. You knew he was probably getting. They said they parted ways mutually, by the way. They didn't say he was fired.
Yeah.
With that being said, Kevin Durant's been a monster. It's Ben Simmons is already in mid-playoff form, sitting out games with soreness. And Kyrie Irving doesn't play defense. You know, he's constantly under scrutiny for this or that or the other thing. So it's like, I think will he come in, have the team for a month, and go to the front office and be like, Kyrie, Ben Simmons, KD. If that's the three, this will never work. Like, is it not going to work? Because it seems to me that the only way Kyrie works is if LeBron's on his team. That, to me, that's the only thing since he's been at Duke, the only thing that works for Kyrie Irving. So we could sit here and make mock trades all day. But to answer the question, Eric, turn them around. I guess I kind of think is it going to get them back to being good? They never were good. I don't know, what are we turning back to? There
was a cup of coffee where they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it was when James Harden was playing there still. I mean, we're talking a long time ago. Unless trades happen, I don't think coaching was the problem for this team. They have inadequate offensive players, and the ones who can play offense have no defensive skill. Kevin Durant's the only real player on this team. I think teams also you're looking at a team that kind of struggles. Their roster doesn't fit well together, and teams are giving them their best shot. They have Kyrie, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons. They want to beat that team. I think this team's up against it, and there is a plethora of teams I like in the East and West more than this team. I am smashing the under of 45.5. I like this team somewhere around 34, 35. I think they fall 10 short. 42, I would have taken the under, and 37, 36 would have sounded better. I can't believe it's still 45. Give me the under, and I'm going to lock in. God, they have Kevin Durant. Seth Curry's coming back later. Give me 35. I'm going to take 10 under.
Yeah, for me, I predicted, what did I say, 42?
Was the over-under?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under 2 at 42. I think 42 is fair. I like them to win one more game over 500. Actually, 42 and 40. Yeah, it's one game over 500, so they'd be 42 and 40. I think this team does have enough offensive firepower that they should be able to win some games in the regular season. Not every team's playing defense. I do think that they need some stable coaching. Though I don't think Steve Nash was the problem, I don't think he was necessarily trying to establish himself either. Not a whole lot to add on this team because, like you said, unless they make some major changes, this team's not going to be a contender. They'll win some games, but that's about it. And I'm to be honest, I might be being too nice by giving them 42 wins.
Yeah, I think you are. Even here early, like I mentioned, they've had 6 home games. And their 2 wins, the Raptors, who are a nice team, they beat them by 4. And then their other one was at home against the Pacers by 7 when Durant had 36, 9, and 7 and led the team in every category. He basically just went.
And they lost?
No, he won against the Pacers. Now, then 2 days before they played the Pacers and lost by 9. Then 2 days later, they beat them by 7 when they played them the second time. So
Yeah.
their losses are Pelicans, Grizzlies, Bucks, Mavericks, Pacers, Bulls. Their wins are Pacers, Raptors.
Well,
So they've played
time
some
out
good
there.
teams.
You
They
just read
played
me
some good
6
teams.
losses. 5 of those were good teams.
Yeah, they have lost to some good teams. So will they punk on the bad teams? We'll see. But I think this is a team that can play down to their competition. You also look at some of their leaders. Simmons has led their team in assists 4 games. And is he going to be playing? How many games does Kyrie sit out? Yesterday they were playing the Bulls so good. Kyrie had like 4 points at the end of that game. Like sometimes he disappears. The whole thing, and then like Ime Udoka, like, oh, this good coach. We didn't hear of him before the Celtics. And yeah, he made the Celtics good, but you look up, oh, Brad Stevens. You look at the roster, Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams. Like, yeah, he preached defense. The Celtics are a ridiculously good defensive team, especially when Robert Williams is playing. Then it opened up Al Horford in the 6th spot, and he came in and had freedom. That team was really good. They went to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we're giving too much credit to the coach on an already good roster that kind of just like, just gave a platform of leadership.
One more point, and only because we're talking about him, but yeah, he preached defense. You know what he wasn't good with? Turnovers. The Celtics are horrendous at turnovers. So are the Nets going to be worse with turnovers? Because they're already bad with those. Anytime you have multiple ball handlers on a team, KD, Kyrie, and Simmons, you're going to have turnovers. And does that mean more players? I don't know. I don't love this team.
Even if I'm wrong at the 35 prediction, I'm comfortable with the under at 45.5.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the next team, and that is the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of these teams, they're all within 1 win of each other. It's just kind of
Yeah. This feels upwards of 42. You're giving the Nets 45. I feel like that needs to be in play. Let me just say 45. Let me equal to
45.5. It's the same as the Nets.
Let's go. Okay, yeah, that feels right to me. This is a team that, for whatever reason, they're allowing Tyler Hero to take a much bigger step, and it seems like Jimmy is taking a much bigger step back than in years past. Maybe that's a save for the playoff type deal. Who knows what they're trying to do there? They still can't figure out Duncan Robinson after paying him. Lots to add to this team, but they're well coached and they have a lot of pieces. I think they'll drag this team to 45 wins.
Yeah, when you talk about like, can they get rebounds and play ugly, dirty, physical ball? Yeah, the Heat can. Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, some of those guys. And then you're like, well, can they win with the 3 ball? Duncan Robinson, Max Strauss, Kyle Lowry just moved to 13th, I believe, all time on the 3-pointers made. So this team can win multiple ways. I believe they have a case for best coach in the NFL or NBA with Eric Spoelstra. He's fantastic. And another piece that they're still waiting to get back is Victor Oladipo. Another piece that they can kind of reload. Another trade piece as well. If he comes in and plays well till the All-Star break, that could be a piece to get shipped out. I think the only thing that this team really needs is a true center so that Bam can move to the 4. This team needs a 7-footer. Sometimes when Bam goes up against Jokic, Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid, even Giannis he's just not quite big enough. They have Jimmy Butler playing at the 4 right now. He's a 3, so they just need 1 or 2 big men to be able to move them down. But this team is too consistent throughout the entirety of the year. This is a team that is going to win upwards of 48 games, and I believe end as towards a top 4 seed. You gotta like the Heat. They're just that team that there's no one on the. Well, I don't know. I think they give Kyle Lowry too much love. I think they give Tyler Hero too much love, but he has looked really good this season. You're right, and Tyler Hero really stepping it up. But I like the over here. I think it's not by much. They're like 47 wins for the Heat.
Are they 45.5, you said?
Yep, same as the Nets.
So I'm going to take the under because I like them at 45.
Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, this is a team that is clearly trying to tank. Pacers have won some games. They have some guys that are on their team that have literally asked to be traded on podcasts. That Miles Turner blatantly saying trade me to the Lakers. Yeah, I think that this has to be under 30. Give me a prediction of 28.
24.
Okay, a little high
That
on this
tells me
team.
they think they're being traded.
Yeah, 24 is probably right. So under I'm gonna take the under because this team does eventually just blow it up. I'm gonna take the under on that.
Involving the Pacers, because this is a little bit fun, because I don't think anybody wants to sit here and listen to us talk about the Indiana Pacers that much.
Yeah.
Would you think that the Lakers would trade Anthony Davis for Kyrie and Seth Curry? Do you think that's an even trade? Ime Udoka
You're
wants a big
throwing
that can score and play defense.
the word even out.
Do you think that would be an acceptable trade?
Yes.
And then you take picks and send them to Indiana for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner.
Only if they take Westbrook.
Think so?
Yeah. You send Westbrook and picks to Indiana for Turner and Hield. And you have LeBron, Hield, Kyrie, and Turner.
Do you think Ime Udoka, who is about leadership, defense, effort, let's pair Russell Westbrook back with KD. They've always talked about how they liked playing together. They're just rivals when they're playing against each other. Do you think the Nets eventually say we need to get Kyrie out of here? Take Russ. We'll take Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie's not helping himself, and I don't want to get
Both
political,
teams
and I
might
don't want to get
think
into
the other
that.
guy's the solution, and both teams think that that guy's the problem, maybe.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's fun about this team is talking about trades.
Yeah.
I think they're better than people have anticipated, but I think they fall off because Buddy Hield, since 2018, 2019, has made the most threes in the NBA. Now, I know Steph Curry missed some time with a hand injury, and Steph Curry's obviously second, but excluding Steph Curry, which you kind of have to do in shooting arguments anymore because he's so good, Buddy Hield is the top. So clear shooter, defensive big. I can't wait to see where those players go if they eventually move. End of the day, I'm taking the under. Actually, I'm going to put them at 24.
Same. I agree. Yeah, I said 24. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
After you told me that, I said, yeah, 24 sounds right.
Okay. The next one is the Charlotte Hornets.
LaMelo's been out, but this team still has been somewhat solid. This team's definitely in the 30s. They got to be in the 30s. They got to be in the 30s. Give me 36.
Way off. 35.5.
Gosh, I'm shockingly good at this. 36 sounds right. 37, 38. A lot of it's going to depend on how healthy this team stays and what they're willing to do roster construction wise. Are they trying to be buyers or sellers at the deadline? Are they going to hold pat? There's been rumors that Russell Westbrook potentially would go there because he has connections with Michael Jordan, Jordan brand shoes, all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. This is a Pacer team with better players, in my opinion.
Dude, literally. Like, without LaMelo, I have no interest. Like, I'm not turning on Mason Plumlee and Gordon Hayward to watch an NBA game. Also, Terry Rozier's out. He's kind of like their electricity, and LaMelo Ball, like, their backcourt is what brings you to the TV. You're telling me, like, I'm supposed to watch Kelly Oubre? Like, this team is the Pacers with better players. They're kind of a sleeper team to me. And as they miss LaMelo, it's just, I don't know. This team's so weird. You look at some of their wins, like they've beaten the Spurs, the Hawks, and then the Warriors. Their losses are Pelicans, Knicks in overtime. They gave the Orlando Magic their only win, and then the Sacramento Kings. Like, I don't know, their wins come in such weird spots. It took them to score 120 plus in all their wins. So this team is not playing any defense. I don't think this team lasts. Their next 3 games: Bulls, Grizzlies, Nets. They don't play enough defense. It's going to be really hard. I'm taking the under. I got them at 30 and 52.
I'll take the under because I like him at like 33, 34.
Which one?
Give me 33.
It's going to be fun at the end of the season to see where all this stacks up. What do you think about the Washington Wizards?
Why is Bradley Beal still in Washington?
Hey, him and Dame. One in the East, one in the West.
There's a massive difference between the two.
Why? The Trailblazers like do good and the Wizards suck every
Damian Lillard has literally as many career game-winning series buzzer beaters as Michael Jordan. Okay, Damian Lillard.
Bradley Beal's scoring like 29 a game.
Yeah, what has that gotten you in life? Listen, I'm never gonna fault anybody for taking the bag ever, and I'm also never gonna fault anybody for being loyal. But I'm also a fan of the end. I'm a fan of the NBA, and Bradley Beal is a very good player, and the Wizards are horrendous, and they've been horrendous for years. Shockingly, the last time they were good is when Russell Westbrook was there, which is kind of funny. But I'm going to guess their win total is in the 30s as well. 31 sounds right.
36.5. I know, isn't that kind of nasty?
I feel like Charlotte's better than them.
Yeah, their wins: Pacers, Pistons.
Yeah.
And at home, they beat the Bulls by 2. Their losses are to the Cavs in overtime, and then they're on a 3-game losing skid right now: Pacers, Celtics, 76ers. Next 3 up: 76ers, Nets, Grizzlies.
I'm going to take the under. I had a lot of overs in the West because I'm very high in the West. 36 sounds too high. They're worse than the Hornets. Give me 32 wins on this team.
Yeah, I don't think they're as trash as people think. Kristaps Porzingis, Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma. This team
Kuzma's actually been really good since leaving the Lakers and
joining. He has. He's been really good. He's actually led their team in scoring twice, and they won both of those games. So maybe there's something to that. But I think this team is diverse enough offensively to make games interesting. But when you talk about Kuzma, Bradley Beal, and Porzingis, you don't think about defense at all there. So I don't think this is going to be a good road team, and I don't think they're going to be a great team long term. I'm going to take the under as well, but not a lot. I'm going to go 33. What did you say, 32?
31. No, 32. I said 32. They're one less than Charlotte.
All right, we're going to get to the Chicago Bulls now.
Another team with another Ball brother out. This team plays pretty hard. I love what DeRozan's done since he's gotten there. The win total for me feels in the 40s, but low. Give me 41 as a prediction there.
40.5.
I'm stupid good at this.
Shut up, dude.
That that feels right to me. 40.5, 41, 42. Give me a 41. So yeah, I'm gonna take the over. And like I said, I think Chicago has some pieces. It would not shock me to see them be a buyer at the deadline to try and get another piece to get a playoff game. That seems like something they would do, trying to get. They have Levine, but he's hurt, isn't he?
Nope. He's been
Okay, he's
playing.
playing. Okay,
He's
so they
day
have
to day,
Levine.
but he's been playing.
Yeah, they have Levine. They got DeRozan. They're missing Ball. They need down low. They do have it's not Jurkic. What's his name?
Nikola Vucevic.
Vucevic. Yes, thank you. And they added Andre Drummond. So I guess they do kind of have a big.
Yep,
So this
Andre
this
Drummond's led him in rebounding 4 games.
yeah, yeah, they got a solid team. They really need Lonzo to be there to run the point is really what they really need. And it doesn't look like he's back anytime soon.
I still think this team is doing really well. Having Goran Dragic on the squad, Alex Caruso, they have a little bit of veteran, been there, done that kind of guys to help run the point. I think Derek Jones Jr. and Javante Green have actually showed a lot of like good things at the wing position. But you look at Levine and DeRozan, they're how this team goes. DeRozan's led the team in scoring 5 times, Levine 3. They've played very good basketball. I think they have 3 guys who are really good, and Levine, DeRozan, and Vucevic. I think they can attack you many ways. I think, like you said, I think they play hard. Um, I like this team on the over. I have them at 45 wins. They're not quite a 50 team, and 45, I think, in this East gets you the 4 or 5 seed, maybe even the 6, which is where I have them, about 4 or 5, battling it out in one of those. The 4 or 5 series are so fun to look forward to in the NBA in that first round. But I really like the Bulls coming off of a big win against Brooklyn at Brooklyn yesterday. Fun game to watch. I like the Bulls, and they're a very entertaining watch as well. Games back and forth, scoring, 3-ball inside. DeRozan is one of the last few mid-range assassin guys left. Zach LaVine is his comp, I guess. I put it at Vince Carter. He's not what Vince Carter was, but he's a 3-ball shooter who can explode and really jam on the rim. Has a few dunk contest championships. Rip Aaron Gordon's best dunk contest ever. But yeah, I like the Bulls entertaining watch. Give me 45 on the over. You're taking the over, but 41.
Yeah, I will say this. Lonzo Ball had his procedure. I just looked it up on September 28th, and it was a 4 to 6 week reevaluation. So he's really due back to be reevaluated anytime now, mid-November. We should see him after Christmas, if I had to guess. And this team would ramp up winning games, in my opinion. So,
And Kobe White, who has a little bit of play time. They've got a deep team.
yeah. And I projected them at 41. They're in at 40 and a half.
Yep.
Yeah, give me a little bit snug of an over. Give me 42. Give me 42. Let me lock that in.
Okay. We got the New York Knicks next.
What's their current record?
I am going there right now. Hold on.
Because they have been. It feels like they've been good.
3-3.
3-3. Okay, they're winning and they're losing. What sounds right on this team? This team feels just like Chicago, but maybe a hair worse. Chicago is 40 and a half. Could they be the same? They're healthy. Let me predict them at 41 wins.
39. One the other way.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That's right in the ballpark of what I was talking. I think this team's just healthy right now. So to be honest, I think they're gonna flirt with 500. Give me the over for 41 and 41 at 500 team. I will say this: I think Jalen Brunson's working. At least it looks like he is. I thought he was overpaid, but to be honest, I mean, a lot of NBA guys are overpaid. It's a league where the top guys get paid so well that the bottom guys get paid really well for not being very good. But Brunson's worth probably every penny he's getting. So, yeah, I think the Knicks are another team. I feel like I've been saying this a lot. It's a team that's interesting because I wonder if they're buyers or sellers. Do they like their team? Do they want to add pieces? Because they need more pieces if they want to be a playoff team. As of right now, this is probably a fringe bubble team. Did I say 41? Locking them in at 41?
I can do that for you.
Yeah, lock them in at 41 wins, 500 team. I have
Yeah,
a
so
ton of teams flirting around that 40 range.
I believe this is one of the few teams that are good and do it as a total team. They don't really have that one guy you can count on. Jalen Brunson's led the team in scoring twice. He's led them in assists 3 times. But you look at points, Randall, Brunson, Barrett, Brunson. Like they kind of get it from everywhere. A lot of low 20 scores, 15 to 22. So there's a couple things to look at for what can the outcome of their season. They're 3-3. They're 3-0 at home, and they're 0-3 away. So they're playing good at home, you say. But there's another dynamic. These are their road losses. Grizzlies, Bucks, Cavs. These are their
very good teams.
These are their 3 home wins. Pistons, Magic, Hornets.
Bad teams.
So do we know what this team is yet? No.
Yeah.
It looks like they play good at home, not that well on the road, or they're going to beat the bad teams, but they can't quite stack up to the good teams. But like I said, they've gotten bad teams at home and good teams away. They have a win in overtime and they have a loss in overtime. But against Charlotte and Detroit, they put up 130. So I mean, like this team has the capability, but any night it could be a different guy. They all outside of Brunson, they do have really good size. They're long, they're defensive. You know, they're 2 hands smacking the floor. Derrick Rose should get more quality time. Cam Reddish, I think, needs to play more. Obi Toppin is a little bit of an electric juice boost there coming off the bench at times. So they do have some guys off the bench, but this is a team that if they have one guy who has a really off night, there's no one really to pick that up. They all have to play consistent. They have to play good. I think this is a 500 team. I think they do fall a little short, though. I'm going to go under, and I'm going to put this team at 38. I think 38 is a good number for this team. I think that puts them at, 44 losses, 38 and 44.
Yeah.
I could see that. And I think they're a bubble team, gets in the 7 or the 8, and it'll make for an interesting first round series, especially those games at Madison Square Garden. Now, for a team that this might have been a different conversation if we did the East first. 76ers. I'll have you know that the 76ers started off 0-4. The 76ers are currently 4-4.
Yeah. This is definitely this has always been, in my opinion, been a 50-win team.
They were not 0-4, I'm sorry. They were 0-3, and then it was win-loss, win-win-win.
Okay. This is definitely in the 50s. I would assume. But I think you also told me that the highest win total projection was like 54 with the Suns. Give me 51.
47.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the over. I think this is a really good basketball team that has all the talent they need. They just got to play hard and play together. Harden seems like he's putting up the numbers. This is the best we've seen Harden look since Houston. I think that's pretty fair. I do feel like the James Harden we knew is kind of dead and gone. This is kind of like just a different player, and we just kind of have to accept that. What did you say it was 47.5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the over. Give me 52 wins. I think this is one of the better teams in the East, and the East is not going to be very good this year. I gave you multiple teams in the 30s. I got to find those wins somewhere. Give me 52 and the over.
Yeah, so like looking at their last 4 games, leading scorer Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. It's like, well, where's Harden? Well, in one game he had 9 assists. He might have sat the next game because he's not their leader in either points or assists, and the leader had 6.
There was a game where he left early. Like he had a very small salary, and he was
probably that Toronto game. But he came back, and when Embiid and Maxey led in scoring and they beat the Bulls in Washington, he had 11 and then tied the single season record this season with 17 assists. So James Harden has kind of put a pump on the brakes on scoring. He came out of the gate 35, 31. Then he had a 29 piece. I don't know what he had in game 3 because Embiid had 40.
He's
But
been putting up mean stats.
Yeah, so James Harden is going to get he's going to get over 20 points. But it seems like he's putting a bigger emphasis on, man, if I get Tyrese Maxey going and Joel Embiid going, this team is gonna be fine. I think they're figuring out how to work that big three together. Because remember, they were new half of last season. Now they come in with a full off season. They're getting it right on the floor. I'm totally with you. I have the over here as well. I like them at 54. I'm going to give them even a little bit more love than you did. I think the 76ers are a tremendous team. And I think the Bulls, Bucks, and 76ers, the only thing that sucks is one of these teams is going to have to play both of the others.
Yeah.
And that's going to be tough come the postseason.
Yeah, Harden's averaging just under 22 a game, 7 rebounds and 10 assists. He's been great. The one thing you'd like to see from him, 32% from 3 probably needs to be closer to 40.
Yeah, 37, 38. He needs
to get up
there. I will say, though, that the 1 seed is really important in the East for that reason. If you have the Celtics, Bucks, and 76ers, throw in another team maybe, but those are the 3 I think most people look at as the top 3 in the East. If they all win their playoff series, 2 and 3 play in the first round. So unless you get the 1 seed and somehow like the Raptors get the 3 seed, the 1 and 4, you just don't play in both those teams or 2 of those teams is tough. But I know the Bucks aren't scared. The next team we're going to get to is the Atlanta Hawks, though.
I've seen this team play twice, both against Detroit.
I actually haven't seen them play a single game. How is DeJounte Murray working with Trae Young?
100% the 2. This is still 100% Trae Young's team. Like, Trae's getting all the shots.
He's averaging 29 and 6.
I'm shocked it's 29. I thought it would be over 30. No. He's been
20 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds.
Who is?
DeJounte Murray this season.
Oh, okay. What is Trae Young averaging?
Trae Young is at 29 points, 9.7 assists, so we'll say 10.
Yeah.
And he's not a rebounder. So he's averaging 29 and 10.
Yeah, he's been tremendous, Trae has. And Murray's been a nice compliment. You're getting a little bit out of Hunter as well. And they also have Clint Capella. I like this team a lot. Really hard for me to give you a numbered wins wise. I'm going to guess. I value them, so I'm probably going to guess a little high. I'm going to be wrong. 47?
It's 45.5.
That's fair. I think they're higher. I'm going to hit the over. I think this is a good team. This is a team that a couple years ago made a really strong run to the Eastern Conference Finals and then had a let-me-up year. I think they're back to that, especially with their add of Murray. I think this team can go toe-to-toe with anybody backcourt-wise. Give me 50 exactly. I like 50 wins for this team. I think they're coached well. I love their outside perimeter shooting. I love the slick hands you're going to get with Trae Young and Murray both. I like the down low presence they have with Hunter. And they're eventually going to get their shooter. Can't think of him. He's been hurt all year. He hasn't played any. Is it
Bogdanovic?
Yeah, thank you, Bogdanovic. He's a fantastic piece once he gets in there. That completes their five-man rotation to start. They'll be really good. Give me 50 wins. I think this is a down the stretch, really good team after the All-Star break.
I'm going to take the under. Just slightly. I like them at 44. So I still think they're a good team. 44 and 38. I think that makes them. I just kind of also looking at, their schedule so far. So they're 4-3. Their games were the Houston Rockets, then the Orlando Magic, then the Charlotte Hornets, then the Pistons twice. Yep. That was their first 5. And they went 4-1. They had a home loss to Charlotte. Odd loss, but it happened. Then they were the Bucks and Raptors, and they got beat one of those games by 30.
By 3 or 30?
They got beat by 30 to the Raptors.
The Bucks game was very close, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, they lost by 8.
Okay. Trae Young almost had a 50-piece in that game,
Yeah,
I think.
42 points.
Yeah. Okay, 42.
But the Young and Murray, I think, is going to be nice in terms of what they can do offensively, but they can't really guard backcourts. I don't think they have any defense there. They've kind of been picking on now. They are about to play Game 5 tonight of a 5-game road stretch. Pistons, Bucks, Raptors, and they have the Knicks tonight. But they just haven't really been
Trae Young in
tested.
the Garden.
Yeah, they haven't been tested, but Trae Young in the Garden should be nice tonight at 7:30. That'll be a cool storyline. I just think this team is going to lose some close games. I think with the Murray Young, they'll have to figure it out. They'll fall down a little bit, but they'll be a fun matchup when they're the 7 or 8 seed, or maybe even 6. They're going to be a fun matchup with one of those top teams because with Trae Young, you can win. DeJounte Murray, like you said, a nice piece, but they do have a big front court presence, with Capella and John Collins.
Yeah,
The
Collins
is,
too. Yes,
I did not like John Collins as the 2. But now that he can take a step back and it's Murray and Young, Collins can pick his spots. Like you said, when Bogdanovich comes back, Justin Holiday. So we'll just have to see if the defense steps up. Well, I'm not questioning this team's offensive capabilities, and that's why they'll beat the bad teams all year. They will beat the bad teams because their scoring is too much. I just start to get a little bit worried when you play teams that are good or good defensively. We'll see.
I will say this, and you're right. Trae Young's going to struggle to guard the really good players. Like Cade Cunningham, he's 6'8". Trae Young ain't 6'8". Cade Cunningham could pretty much do whatever he wanted. The 2 games they played, he went for 20-plus points in both the first halves, cooled down in the first half, or the second half of the first game. The second half of the second game, I think he got almost to mid-30s. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a struggle for Trae to play big and physical with any of the really big point guards or any of the really skilled scoring guards. But I do think there's some steals to be had. And this team, like you said, is just nasty offensively.
If they've scored 115 points or less, they've either lost the game or won it very, very close. They have to outscore teams.
Yeah.
Final 4 teams. We're at the Raptors.
What's their current record?
4-3.
It's a good team.
I'm sorry, it's still on the Hawks. Actually, it didn't register. Hold on.
You're good. I think this is a good team, but they're
4-3.
probably going to be overvalued. 45 seems. I'm not guessing. 45 seems high. Give me 43.
46.5.
And I thought 45 was high. I knew they were going to be overvalued. Yeah, give me the under. This team doesn't have any go-to guy. Barnes and Pascal are both very good. They've hit on both of those guys, but they don't really have a true leader. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but this team is... They can't get free agents to come there. It's not really a hotbed for that. It's going to be really tough for you to really get somebody. They'd almost have to trade for somebody, and they don't really have a ton of other pieces. I'm not a huge Norfleet guy. 44 is my official, so I'm going to take the under and lock them in at 44.
I like the over. I like this team at 47. I just think they're kind of a well-oiled machine that isn't glamorous. So it's kind of hard to watch them, but this team every year is good. Pascal Siakam is kind of really taking a step forward. He's averaging 26, 9, and 7 this year.
Yeah,
I've seen a real force. Scotty Barnes, after winning Rookie of the Year, is looking to add to that campaign. Fred VanVleet's been a little banged up, but man, once he gets going, I think this team he's only averaging 13 right now. He's picking his spots behind Siakam.
They're coached well, too.
Yeah, Gary Trent Jr. and OG Anunoby. I think they have a really good starting 5. When you look at their second 5, it's not great. But again, since they don't have any real superstar, there's no real fall off. These guys and the Knicks are the two teams. I think the Raptors are better than the Knicks. They're the good version. They're what the Knicks want to be in terms of a team that's well oiled. It's a total team effort. They're coached well. It's hard to play in Toronto. You got to go up into Canada, so it's a little different for some of these teams. And at 4-3, this is their games so far. Cavaliers, Nets, Heat, 76ers, Hawks. They've had a really tough opening month here in October, and they've handled it. They're 4-3. They're going to come out of it. This is a team I could even see getting up to 50 and being that wrench in the top 3 that we talked about, being a team that we wake up and they're the 2 seed or the 3 seed. So I like them on the over. They're not a team I'm rushing to the TV to watch, but it just seems
really
like when you
random.
look up the box score, they win.
Really random. I don't know if you heard this in the off season or if this flew under your radar. Is there a reason that teams are playing teams back to back? It's happening a lot.
I don't know.
Are you noticing that or no?
I have, yeah. They play them. It's not even like back-to-back nights, but like they're in Miami back-to-back with a day in between.
Detroit's already had that. So tonight, I think Detroit plays the Bucks tonight. They just played the Bucks the other night. They did, so that's 2 in a row. They did it with the Hawks. You just got done telling me the Raptors have done it twice this year already. It's just weird how there's a lot of teams that are doing these back-to-backs. Maybe it's a travel thing. I don't know, but it's just interesting. I'm picking up on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's in whose division too to know if it's like divisional opponents that they're doing that too. Like, is Miami, Philadelphia, and Toronto all in the same division?
I believe.
I don't know how the NBA.
I'm not good enough in the NBA to be honest. I know there's 3 divisions, but
yeah, they're not already. I don't know why they do the back to back, but the Raptors, I'm taking the over, just over 47.
Okay,
they're gonna be a good team. Celtics.
Got to be 50 something. Give me 51.
They are 52.5.
Okay, I was almost going to say 52. Yeah, that feels right. This is a team that even without Udoka, they seem to be still hitting their stride. I love that they feel it really balanced right now with both Brown and Tatum. It seems like they're getting that production out of their squad. It seems like the teams that are beating them are good. And they have a loss to the Cavs. I think they have another loss to somebody else. I don't know if you're looking at that right now.
Bulls, Cavs. It was back-to-back losses.
Okay, yeah, the Bulls aren't a slouch, so it's going to take strong play from 2 different stars to kind of outduel their stars. Yeah, I like this team probably in the over. I think this is a high 50 team. I think it's one of those teams where they lose in the NBA Finals and they come back really strong the following year, but who knows what they are. Give me the over. 50. Let me lock in 54.
Okay, hold on. I am going to take the under, but I am going to have them at 50 wins. 50 and 32. I think the only reason I'm taking this is that Bulls game. They were at the Bulls, and in the first quarter, I think they were up 18 or 16. And then the Bulls just started to chip away. Not only did they take the lead, they end up winning by 18.
Jeez.
In that game, to me, is where I thought Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
I think this team is talented, but I still think even with all their experience, they can still unravel. They're still kind of young, even with Tatum, Brown, and Smart. I love that big 3. They're going to get Robert Williams back. This team should hit 50 wins. I feel almost risky taking the under. This is a really good team, and since January of last year, they've been on fire. They've been a really good team. And again, their losses are Cavs and Bulls, who are both good teams. They beat the 76ers at the Heat, Washington, Orlando. But it all runs through Tatum and Brown. We know that. Smart's led in assists in 5 of their 6 games. Tatum, 4 times points leader. Jaylen Brown twice. The team runs through those 2 guys. And they both play defense and offense. I like watching the Celtics. They're good. 50 wins seems good for me. You got them at 54. I think we're pretty much steadfast on the Celtics here. They're a top team.
Mm-hmm.
Second to last team, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Love this team, but they are beat up at the point guard right now. I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of people in this league, yeah. Garland is returning to practice. He's returning to practice, and he might even play tonight. That's great news.
The Fantastic only guy who has injuries next to him is Dylan Windler and Raul Neto.
Yeah, don't know who those guys are. This, to me, is one of the best teams in the league. I think because of how young they are, they'll be very good in the regular season too. But I also feel like they maybe undervalued a hair. My guess is 50, and I'm going to slam the over, but 50?
No, it is 48.5.
No, way over. Way over. No, this is a really good basketball team. Get way over. Let me lock in. God, do I want to go 55?
I think this team have over 55 on my paper. I predicted them at 55.
Yeah, I think this is an explosive team. Tons of scoring. There's do you have their lineup in front of you?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's gone up to 32 from 23. He's gone up 9 points per game. Let me just read that to you real quick. He's averaging 32.7 assists, 4 boards. He is in full zone. Darius Garland. People talk about then their bigs, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Fantastic. Well, guess what? Karis LeVert is this team's 3.
He dropped 41 the other night.
Yeah, they're offensively so dynamic. Defensively, they have it everywhere. Yeah, Karis LeVert dropped a 41 and 7 on the Boston Celtics at the Garden.
Yes.
They play again tonight. Yes. Donovan Mitchell, 31, 32, 37, 38. Evan Mobley led their team in points against the Magic.
Yeah.
I mean, this team, they came out the gates at Toronto and lost by 3. WWWWW since. This team has it everywhere. They have depth. They have what a trade for Donovan Mitchell. Fantastic. They have 3-point shooting. They have athleticism. They have defense. They have bigs. Jared Allen, he could average 4 points a game, and they'd be like, thanks. I mean, just this team has it all. Talk about Karis LeVert, maybe even playing other minutes at the guard position. Kevin Love coming in. He's had some good minutes. Give me 55.
I think he hit 8 threes the other night. I mean, literally, they're getting production everywhere. I think we agree. 50,
he's
55.
Off the bench. He's off the bench bringing 11 and 7 every night.
Yeah, give me 55 wins. I think this is a really good basketball team. They could be even higher. They could hit 60. They have the potential to hit 60. It's hard to predict a 60-win team unless they're elite, but this is a good team.
Well, that's funny because the Milwaukee Bucks are the last team we have to go over.
Yeah, I think they're going to be the highest projected team.
The 6-win and 0 loss Milwaukee Bucks.
They're 6-0.
They're 6-0.
Wow, and Detroit almost beat them.
They haven't played any world beaters. That 76ers and then Rockets, Nets, Knicks, Hawks, Pistons. So a lot of
Yeah, but I like the Hawks. I like the Hawks. And the Nets, they still got ballers over there, even though they suck. This has got to be my highest prediction. I think the highest I've given anybody is a 54. Let me lock in as my guess 56.
It is the highest of any team, but it's 53.5.
I gotta go over. Man.
62. 62 and 20 seems about right.
Your prediction is 62?
Yeah, I think they could go over that too, but 62
yeah.
and
20. I'm going to go exactly with what I just said. It's hard for me to predict a 60-win team.
It's hard for me to see this team losing more than 15 games, let alone 20.
Right now, they still don't have
Chris Middleton.
And
And they're 6-0.
I know. I know, and they're playing great. Lopez has been a flipping dog for
Yeah,
them.
Brooke Lopez and Bobby Portis.
Holiday.
Giannis is a big, and then you've got Drew Holiday, George Hill, Grayson Allen has been playing fantastic.
has
Wesley
played well.
Matthews is giving you some minutes. Now, the one thing you'd say, can he keep it up? But you wouldn't put it past him. They're leaders in points this year. Giannis. Their leader in rebounds. Giannis. Bobby Portis. Assists. Giannis, Drew Holiday. Giannis, Holiday. So he is literally, get on everybody.
He's the best player in the league right now.
Yeah, him and Luka are similarly doing what for each team, but Giannis is getting the wins. I'm not saying
he has a million times better team around him.
Yeah, they're the
I
two.
dog Luka, but the Bucks are light years better than Dallas.
I believe that they are the two highest currently for MVP odds. They're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Simply because the Mavs have a winning record. The Bucks are 6-0, and they are just all the statistics. So
if you just simply took Giannis and removed him from the Bucks and added Luka, I'm not even saying get rid of Holiday. Like literally just added Luka. I'm not saying they would be as good because Giannis is a great complementary piece to that team, but they would. The Bucks would destroy the Luka-led Mavericks. Like the Luka Dallas Bucks would destroy it's not even close. The rosters are not close.
The Giannis Bucks would beat the Giannis Mavs
by a lot.
I just think since they're both European players, Giannis should just move to Dallas and they should just team up and win the next 6 titles. Can you imagine Giannis and Luka on the same roster? Their games work off each other.
They would. They'd be nasty together.
2 minutes left. Mavs up 3. Giannis and Luka are running the pick and roll. Nice. So like what?
Just don't give Luka that fadeaway left elbow 3. Because he's hitting it. I don't
understand how Luka gets so many points. Because if it's in his left hand, he's looking to step back. If it's in his right hand, he wants to drive. But he does we're not going to get into my fascination with Luka right now. Milwaukee Bucks.
We have a question for that later. So
the Milwaukee Bucks are just a well-oiled machine who don't even have Chris Middleton back yet. They can play defense, they can score, they can shoot, they defend, they have the pedigree. If they wasn't for injuries last year, they may have been in the finals again. I like this team at 62-20, unless Giannis gets hurt. I think this is a 62-win team. I'm never going to predict the 70-win team, like how the Warriors and the Bulls have done that. But if you were to tell me, the Bulls are going to lose 15 games, it's like, I guess 7 of those Giannis was resting. And he's not a guy to do that. So
I'm going to predict high too, but like I said, I'm not going to go over 60. Give me 57.
The 53.5, it's an easy over.
Easy over. They're way better than 53 wins. Way better than that. They're hurt and they're better than that. So this team fully healthy, I think, is the best team in the league. They picked up some pieces that I liked too. That the redheaded shooter, Da Vinci Odio or whatever the heck his name is. I'm not even sure if he's playing yet. Has he been playing for them much?
I don't believe he is on the team anymore. DiVincenzo left in the offseason.
Oh, he went to the Warriors. My apologies. He went to the Warriors. Forgive me. Forgive me.
I'm trying to get your schedule here.
While you're doing that, I do have a mailbag question. And Chuck, I know you asked this question because you know that you'll get a response out of Brad. We did do the West last week, and we kind of halfway talked about this already. But I will still ask it, and I will give my quick opinion. Brad, of course, has his opinion.
Yeah.
But your question was, and I'm looking it up here. Sorry for the brief pause. Here it is. Okay. Chuck, can Luka carry his current team to the finals? I told Brad this about Luka. Listen, I'm not going to down on Luka, but this Mavs team he's playing with is not good. They don't have the pieces that these other top teams have, and it's kind of shocking that Dallas can't build a team better than what they have right now. Their second best player is probably the worst second best player on any team in a contender. And if I don't know if Brad would even argue this, it's Spencer Dinwiddie. But Spencer Dinwiddie is not Drew Holiday. Spencer Dinwiddie is not Chris Paul. Spencer Dinwiddie is not Anthony Davis. He's not Paul George. Like, he's light years lower than everybody else's second best player. And this doesn't feel like a Grizzlies team to me where there's just a lot of B's and then an A. It's Luka carrying some B minuses and a lot of C's. Go ahead, Brad.
The Mavericks, when it comes to Spencer Dinwiddie, Christian Wood, Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, Max Kleber, these aren't great names. They're guys who play really hard defense and can all shoot the three ball. You wish it would go down a little bit easier, but obviously it all rides through Luka, who I believe is one of the top two players in the NBA. I think it's him and Giannis. With that being said, he could absolutely carry this roster to a championship if somebody else can beat the Warriors for him. That's it. They're outmatched against the Warriors. But if the Suns or in a crazy series with an injury, the Nuggets or the Clippers or some team beats them and then the Mavs have a different route, yes, I believe they could. Even when it comes to the Bucks, I mean, the Mavs shoot the three so much that if they get hot, I believe they can beat any team. But the Warriors play good defense and can match them on the scoring with the three-pointers. I'm not worried about any defender on Luka, so I don't think that really matters. I think they can, but they can't beat that Warriors team. And there's going to be tough series. I'm not saying if they played the Suns in another 7-game series, would they win again? I don't know. It'd be a tremendous series, though. If they played the Clippers with full health Paul George and Kawhi, would they win? I don't know, but it'd be a great series. Can he? Absolutely. But in a 7-game series, they cannot beat the Warriors with this roster. And guess what? Not a lot of teams can. In fact, none could last year.
You know what's really weird is Detroit traded Grant, small forward Jamari Grant, to the Portland Trailblazers. He'd have been a perfect Luka teammate. Doesn't need the ball in his hands. Great shooter. Can pop a mid-range. Prefers to shoot the three. Like, that would have been a perfect teammate. Like, why can't they add those type of pieces for him? It's just frustrating as just a basketball fan. Like, it's just a lot of, and I say this without being disrespectful to Luka, it's a lot of Russell Westbrook. It's a stat guy with not great teammates around him. I just don't see a lot of, like, he carried them past the Suns last year, and Chris Paul was a non-factor in that game. Like, you weren't getting the same Chris Paul, and that's why I had the Suns down so much. I think for the Mavericks to really go far, they're going to have to make a trade of some. They got to get this guy, a competent guy that can go out and get you 22. Brunson was that guy. I didn't think he was, but he was. Dinwiddie's not that guy. Just my opinion.
I just think, like, you look at Christian Wood, he's averaging 17 and 8, as the sixth man, which is really nice.
He's an okay player. He's an okay player.
But that's what I'm saying. They don't have one guy who's going to get him 18 a night every night, but they have a different guy who's doing that every night. You just don't know where it's coming from. Like,
and they have a lot of losses, though.
Well, I mean, they have a 2-point loss, a 2-point loss, and an overtime loss. So it takes everything you have to beat the Mavs. Like, and their wins, 137-96. They have another win by 9, and then they have the OT win at Brooklyn on the road. I'm just saying that the games that they've lost at the Suns, at the Pelicans, and the one that hurts is at home to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But they've lost by 2 on the road to 2 teams we believe are going to be really good in the West. So it just looks like this team's going to win, or it's going to take everything you have to beat them. And it was really hard to watch. I think the Mavericks were up by 8 with like less than 4 minutes left, and the Thunder got real hot, sent it to OT, and then they got beat. It is what it is. You're not going to be perfect on the season, but yeah. I don't know. I'm comfortable with where the Mavericks are at right now, and losing Jalen Brunson, they're still trying to figure that out. The one thing, like you've alluded to, in the schedule, it shows the team leader in points, rebounds, and assists. In all 6 games, Luka's led their team in points and assists, and in rebounds, he's led them 4 of the 6 games. you would like to see a more diversity on the names, especially in rebounds. And but I don't mind. I like watching him dominate the stat sheet. It's cool.
Yeah.
I have the playoff picture if our win predictions come true.
Hit it.
Want it from 10-1 or 1-10?
Let's do 10-1.
Okay, so for you, the first play-in game, the 10 seed Knicks travel to the 9 seed Brooklyn Nets. So New York battle.
Sounds right.
The 8 versus 7 is the Chicago Bulls traveling to the Toronto Raptors, the 7 seed.
Yeah. Okay.
Your 6 seed is the Miami Heat.
Yep. Sounds right.
Your 5 seed is the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay. I thought they would have came in a little higher, but that's fine.
Your 4 seed is the 76ers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now it's going to shape up.
3 seed is the Celtics.
Yep.
2 is the Cavs. 1 is the Bucks.
Yeah. As soon as you realize, yeah. Okay. That sounds good. I like that.
So for me, the 10 seed Nets travel to the 9 seed Knicks in the New York battle.
We're in play there.
My 8 seed Hawks travel to the 7 seed Bulls. So the Hawks is a team Hawks and Raptors we kind of have flipped.
Yeah.
My 6 seed is the Heat. My 5 seed is the Raptors. So yeah, we have the Raptors and Hawks flipped.
Yeah.
4 Celtics, 3 76ers, 2 Cavs, 1 Bucks.
Yeah.
We're pretty lockstep for the most part.
I will say this. If the Hawks play to their full potential, they'll be better than the Raptors. If the Raptors are as good as we think they can be, they'll be better than the Hawks. I mean, they're coached better for sure. I think they have the better coach and they have great young pieces. I just think the Hawks have so much like all-star type talent that if they can be that good, that's the reason I kind of have them higher. But either way, I could see that going that way. So
yeah.
Anything else?
No, man, excited to watch some basketball tonight. Mavs play the Utah Jazz tonight.
Yeah. We always try to do something NBA this time of year. We probably won't talk NBA again until almost Christmas. We're back to talking NFL next week. I miss talking NFL. A lot of trades going down. A lot of teams making headway. It's kind of crazy. We haven't done an NFL pod in a couple of weeks, and Tom Brady hasn't won a game in that amount of time. So just goes to show you how long it's been. But yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll be back live on Sunday, 11 a.m., talking all your favorite games. Anything else, Brad?
Nope, I don't have much to add there.
Okay. We will see you Sunday live at 11. We're out. Real talk.